With the unofficial start of summer just a few days away, boaters and people who work along the lake are noticing something different this season. Tonight, we're finding out if these lower lake levels are really a cause for concern. So I want you to take a look at this chart. It's from the Army Corps of Engineers. It ranges from 2023 to 2025. And you can see the lake levels. They're going up and down as you follow this red mark here. But you'll notice the overall trend on that line is downward.
Yeah, so what does that really mean for our state's greatest resource? Our Shantae Passmore is live on Lake St. Clair tonight with what's behind this trend. Hey there, Shantae.
Hey, Karen and Damon. You know, if anyone has spent any time on the water, then you know that the water level typically rises in the summer, and that's thanks to runoff from the snowmelt. And here along Anchor Bay, we've got Captain Mike right here. The depth shows that we are probably hovering just a little bit over 5 feet, but it's the seawall that tells another side to this story, and that's because the water line shows that the water was maybe about 16 inches where it is right now, which had us asking, is there trouble on the water?
Jeremiah Green is at his favorite hideaway.
I would say probably about like 3 to 4 times a week.
The Michigander is an avid outdoorsman who loves fishing.
So right here we got some walleye that I filleted.
Spending so many days along the Detroit River, he's noticed it looks lower and fish aren't biting like they did, say, a few years ago.
Causing them to go ahead and feed on a different pattern, but still be able to, they're able to be caught.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers monitors the Great Lakes and other surrounding bodies of water.
When you take a look at current conditions, we're lower than we were a year ago, and we're certainly lower than we were when we were setting record highs 4, 5, and 6 years ago.
Chief of Hydraulics and Hydrology, Keith Kompoltowicz, is talking about the heavy precipitation the state received during the 2019-2020 period. The historic amounts threaten homes while high water levels sometimes breach seawalls.
You can see the water line there just a few inches below the top of the seawall, and that's indicative of those record high water levels that we saw 4, 5, 6 years ago.
According to the forewarned weather team, we're coming off a period of mild and mostly dry winters, which is more than likely a key contributor to lower water levels around the state. Data shows Lake Michigan-Huron continued its seasonal rise between March and April, rising about 6 inches to a level of 578.35 feet. That's 5 inches below its April long-term average level and 7 inches below last year's level. But listen to this. 40 inches below the record high level from April 2020. To be clear, Kompoltowicz tells me levels aren't dangerously low, but fluctuation is normal. However, the Corps of Engineers also reports water level data is critical for freighters, which determine the amount of cargo allowed on board.
So I've been boating on this lake since probably about 2000, early 2000s.
At Lake St. Clair, boaters are using more caution.
There are certain places that you can go, or you could have gone last year, that you might not be able to go this year. So again, you got to watch your depths and your charts.
Back along the Detroit River, how low is too low? The answer: if we see another couple of years of really dry weather mixed with low precipitation, and if seasonal declines and rises become below average.
That would tell me that we're maybe transitioning to a longer term low water scenario on the lakes, which we've again seen before.
Whether fishing or boating, the hope is that the tide will turn.
Yeah, and all anyone can talk out here is about how low the water level is right now. And joining me right now is Dan Greger. You are a lifelong boater. What would you tell anyone who's looking to come out here for the holiday weekend about the water levels? What do they need to know?
I would recommend using a chart plotter. If you don't have the chart plotter, go buy a chart. And then if you're not sure, stay away from the close to land.
Right, well said, because actually, guys, Karen and Damon, Dan was telling me just last weekend he saw a boat that was in trouble, needed to get towed out. I'll send it over to you guys.
Good information to know, especially as we go into that holiday weekend. Thanks, Shantae and Dan.